Sorry that it's been so long since I've made a video. It's just I've been really busy with school and with marching band, but now marching band is over, so I should have more time to manage this page. And the Saturday after this upcoming one, me and my friend are going to locals, so I'll see if I can get some clips from that and post a video about it. So, this is just sort of my apology. This video is my apology to you guys. It's my updated Gladiator Beast deck profile. I do believe that this version is much more consistent, so let's get right into it. You'll notice a lot of similarities because still some cards are very necessary, such as our 3 Noxious that we're playing. So some of you guys may be here because you want to get into Gladiator Beasts, or you may not understand how they function and you want to know some of the ratios that you should play. Definitely always play 3 Noxious because he's a hand trap that lets you special him from your hand when your opponent declares a direct attack. Then he redirects the attack to himself and he can't be destroyed by that battle. So basically, no matter what, he's going to get hit with the attack, which is awesome because if it did a replay and your opponent was able to choose if they wanted to attack again, maybe they wouldn't attack into Noxious just because, they didn't want to activate his effect. So, but you do have to be careful because his effect says that he can't be destroyed by that battle, which means that he can only be, he cannot be destroyed by one battle. So if your opponent has more than one monster on their field, and they haven't declared attack with either, you might want to be careful, and you might want to just soak up one of the hits, take the damage, and then for their final attack, you might want to special Noxious then, so that you could get his effect off to pitch a Gladiator Beast from your deck to the grave, and then contact out. So, moving on, 3 Gladiator Beast Darius. This is also necessary as a 3 of. I don't think you get away very well with just 2 because you want to see him always. So his effect, he's a monster reborn for Gladiator Beasts. When he's special summoned by the effect of a Glad, he lets you special one from your grave. So I find that that is really good because that comboed with Noxious, that can get you a Geyserus just from Noxious. So it's insane. And he's got a relatively high base attack, so you can just summon him and attack him into something. Of course, he also has the tap out effect, but he's a beast warrior, so you'll see why that comes in, why that's useful later. So you always want to play 3 of Darius. So next we have 2 Bestiari. 2 is just right because 1, I did try playing just 1 of him. It didn't work out very well because when I lost my Bestiari, I had no way to get him back really, because it's always nice to have at least 1 in your deck that you could just straight up summon or something. So 3 bricked way too often, and Bestiari's effect isn't relevant. All it does is when he's special summoned by the effect of a Glad, you can pop 1 spell or trap. The only reason that I'm playing him at all is because he is the name card that you need to be able to summon Gladiator Beast Geyserus, who is the best Gladiator Beast fusion monster in the extra deck. So we will get to that in a second. Next, I'm playing 2 Gladiator Beast Augustus. Augustus is really good because although he is a level 8 and he can potentially brick, he's the best way to get himself out of your hand. He lets you special summon a Glad Beast from your hand when you special summoned him, or when he's special summoned by the effect of a Glad. So he is definitely a playmaker. He can pull off some amazing combos that I've done before, and there are some really cool combos that you can do with him that I want to post sometime. But I wouldn't play 1 because 1 wouldn't really come in handy, and if you ended up with him in your hand, the only way to get him out is through Twin Twisters. But 2, it's nice because if you do end up with 1 in your hand, the other one is very searchable through all of the other Gladiator Beasts, and then he'll get the other out of your hand. So, problem with Augustus, though, is after you special summon him, during the end phase of that turn, shuffle the monster that was special summoned by his effect back into the deck. So you could potentially be negging yourself 1 off of him, so you have to be very careful to most likely not play it during your opponent's turn, unless you want to get off an effect like maybe Darius or something. I don't know. It really depends on how the board's looking. Next, I'm playing 2 one-offs. We have one Laquari, one Equest. So I'm playing one Equest because there are some really cool combos that you can do with him. He's a very good Gladiator Beast monster too. He when he is special summoned by the effect of a Glad, he lets you add one Gladiator Beast monster from one Gladiator Beast card actually. So you can even add cards like Gladiator Beast War Chariot, the Counter Trap. You can add it back to your hand. So he is very good because he can recycle any Gladiator Beast card at all. And the reason I'm playing one Laquari is the name card that you need to be able to get out a Gladiator Beast. Sorry, my brain's like not working very well. Gladiator Beast Heraclinos. Sorry, I was just drawing a complete blank. But he's the name card that you need to get him out. I play one because his effect isn't relevant at all. All it does is make his original attack 2100. But you never know when you need him, and there have been multiple times where I haven't really been able to do anything, and where Laquari did save me because right then and there I was able to go into Heraclinos, and those negates, they saved me the game. So moving on, those were all the Gladiator Beast monsters. Next we have 3 Test Tigers, which I guess you could consider them Gladiator Beast monsters. They're necessary for the deck. You have to play 3. This is another required 3 of. So his effect is if you control face-up Glad Beast, you can special him from your hand, and then his other effect is that you can tribute him to shuffle a face-up Gladiator Beast monster back into your deck, special summon another GB, and treat it as if it was summoned by the effect of a Gladiator Beast monster. So basically, for example, let's just as an example, you probably won't ever do this, but let's say you have a Darius on your field, you can special Test Tiger, tribute him to summon, for example, a Bestiari, pop a back row. I mean, you're probably never going to do that, but one restriction that he doesn't have actually is that it can be the same name. That's one thing that Gladiator Beasts have a big problem with. Like, normally, if you have a Darius on your field, you can't contact him out for another Darius. But with Test Tiger, if you have a Darius, and then you tribute Test Tiger to shuffle him back, you can summon another Darius. So I find that to be really good. Next, we have 3 Elemental Hero Prisma. After doing a lot of playtesting, Prisma has saved me countless times, and pulled off some amazing combos where and Prisma can count as either a material for Geyserus or Heraclinos, because he can either be Bestiari or Laquari. So he works either way. That's mainly why I'm playing one Laquari, so I can pitch him as a target for Prisma. So Prisma is extremely good. I'm running some search cards for him as well. So moving on, the last monster we have is one Max C. Max C, super self-explanatory. It's Max C. It's amazing in this deck. It works really well. So moving on, I'm playing 3 Gladiator Proving Ground. It's great because it lets you add a level 4 lower GB from your deck to your hand. It's really good because deck thinning, and it lets you choose what monsters you would like to have in your hand, because that could be really relevant if you're going to summon an Augustus, and maybe you want to have something like a Bestiar in your hand so that you can go into Geyserus. Next, I have 3 Fire Formation Tenki. Reason I'm running this is because you want to see your Darius's also as soon as possible, and I'm playing one Laquari, so you can search that with Tenki as well. But it's mainly for Darius, who is amazing in the hand. Moving on to our last search cards, one A Hero Lives and one Rhoda. Rhoda is just for searching Elemental Hero Prisma. So deck thinning and A Hero Lives, I'm playing it because this has saved, I did try playing it with 3, but I can't tell you how many times I just ended up getting it early in the game, using it, and then getting it midway through the game where I have a field, and then not being able to use it. So playing 3, it doesn't work out that well. But one A Hero Lives, it's just right because, you don't want to see it too often, but you do want to see it occasionally, like maybe when you're getting annihilated. And Rhoda, really good for deck thinning. So next, this is a new card that was introduced to me by somebody who actually mentioned it in my first Gladiator Beast deck profile, Scapegoat. I had never even bothered to think of Scapegoat being relevant at all in this deck, but after deck testing, this card is absolutely insane. You can use it to get straight into Mrs. Radiant, and it'll soak up 2 attacks from there. Because, you know, you could, like, what you're going to normally do is you could wait out your opponent's turn, activate it during their end phase, or you could even activate it during the battle phase, take 2 attacks, or, you know, more, I guess, but you're mainly using it to get out Mrs. Radiant. But Scapegoat helps you go into Radiant, which then Radiant's one of your combo pieces, which really helps. So next, just some removal, Twin Twisters, 3 Twin Twisters, of course, 1 Dark Hole. And next, this is a card that before I said was very slow, and I still agree with it. I'm playing 3 Wovoku. Reason for this is, you know, I mean, yes, it is a slow card, it's a trap, but I'm mainly using it it's a stally card. If you draw it early in the game, yes, you can activate it to save your GBs and contact them out, but you can also use it just as protection, which is what I generally end up doing with it. So, moving on to our one of traps, we have 1 Torrential Tribute, very self-explanatory. It's basically just a Dark Hole when a monster is summoned. 1 Solemn Warning, also self-explanatory, just pay 2,000, negate the summon or activation of a spell card or a trap card or an effect monster's effect. And finally, we have 1 Gladiator Beast War Chariot. I tried playing more than one, but honestly, it really didn't make a difference at all. It hardly ever came up, and when it did come up, I usually didn't have any Gladiator Beasts on my field. So it really did. 1 more Chariot's fine. You can run more if you would like, but I think 1 is just right. It's just perfect. Alright, moving on to our extra deck. We have 3 Geyserus. Geyserus, super self-explanatory, best Gladiator Beast in the deck. When he's special summoned by the extra deck, or from the extra deck by shuffling Bestiari and 1 GB from your deck, or from your field back into your deck, you get a free pop 2, and then at the end of the battle phase, you can contact him out for 2. Next, we have 2 Heraclinos, also an amazingly good card. It's a spell and trap negate, and it's not a once per turn. All you have to do is discard a card from your hand, so that can also lead to some Gladiator Beast advantage. Only downside of him is you can't contact him out. Next, we have 2 Tamer Editors. Tamer Editor is, you know, it's pretty okay, but it's really good when used with Mrs. Radiant so that it can actually get its effect off. If you're desperate, though, you can just summon it in defense position and use it as a big wall. Next, I have 1 Neurokius. Neurokius, kind of okay, I guess. It requires 3 Glad Beasts, and you know, shuffles them back into the deck. It just can't be destroyed by battle, and if it attacks or is attacked, your opponent can't activate cards or card effects until the end of the damage step. And if you want to contact him out, he only summons 2, so it's not necessarily worth it. Next, we have 1 Andabeta. I play this because sometimes, you know, the sending Augustus to the grave can be useful. It's pretty rare, but it does come up sometimes. 2 Esadari, mostly because I had space. 2 Mrs. Radiant because of combos. 1 Aegon the Sea Castrum. I can't tell you how many times Aegon has saved me. You can go into him easily by using any of your fusion, or most of your fusion monsters, or you can even use him with Augustus if you really need to. So this card has saved me many times. I think of it as a very nice tech choice for the extra deck. So, yeah, that is my Gladiator Beast deck profile. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope to be bringing you another one soon. So, yeah, see ya.